Okay, so we're good to go. We are recording. Marlene, thank you for reminding me here. She's that voice in the back of my head a lot of times, so I really appreciate that. So listen, I wanted to do something special here today as far as building your business. I know that a lot of the emphasis that we've had over the last 40 days or however how many it's been has been on let's get people to this call. Let's tell them about what's going on in Lionshare. Let's give them the PowerPoint presentation, bring people out, and that works, right? That is an amazing tool, and it works for those people who use it, right? There's many of you out there today that maybe you're struggling and trying to figure out what direction you need to go, and you can't really figure it out, right? You're struggling, you're looking for that way, and maybe that's why you showed up here today. If I had to guess, there's many people here today that are not showing up to the normal calls because they seem repetitive, right? They seem, and I trust me, I think I could do that overview call without a single PowerPoint slide in my sleep. I mean, I've done it that many times, but that's going to lead into some of the things that we're going to talk about here today to help you build your business. So I guess the first question I would have is, if I could show you a blueprint here today, I mean, if I could really show you something that is going to help you take your business from where it is, point A, to point B, how many of you would really be willing to do what I tell you to do? Give me a number one if you're really willing and you're wanting to change your life and your family's life today. Just give me a number one. I mean, like you're sick and tired of it, right? Some of you are holding up the number one, some of you are sitting there. So what I know about every one of these trainings that I've ever done, okay, I mean, I've had the chance to speak around the world in front of a lot of people, and I see a lot of ones in the chat. Sorry, I didn't see those. But I've had a good opportunity to do that. And one of the things that I constantly get is this. I constantly get, hey, James, if you can give me the secret, I'm literally willing to do anything that you will tell me to be able to get from where I'm at to whatever level I'm trying to get at. I mean, I get that every single time I go anywhere and speak. And the truth of it is this: you can have the blueprint right in front of you, just like we have a blueprint for Lionshare. How the road to 1,000 Ethereum. Alfredo made that great slide for us to show us, depending on which level you grow up to, we can show you that blueprint of the Follow Me system. So it's there for you. Now, here's the unfortunate part about life. Only about 10% of anyone's going to do anything that you actually show them or tell them to do. Now, there's some of you here today that you're going to take this information, and my hope is that you come back someday and say, wow, James, you remember when you did that training that Thursday morning or that Thursday night or Friday morning, depending on where you're at? That was the thing that flipped my switch. That was the thing that got me over the hump, that got me over the edge from just being average or just being someone who was struggling to being someone that now I'm a leader that people want to follow. You see, that's my goal here today, is to give you every single thing that I can possible. And it's not just going to be today. Okay. I've said for a while that we're going to be adjusting the training schedules. So starting next week, I'm going to be training on specific things. It's not just going to be me. I'm going to be inviting some people out. There's really, 4 or 5 pillars of a business that I look at. The first one's always mindset. Okay. I always look at mindset first, which I know for a lot of you, you probably think that that's a boring topic. You probably think, man, I'm not dealing with that frou-frou stuff. I got to tell you, I was the very worst person in the world. I was too school for cool, right? I said that backwards, I know, but it was intentional. I was too cool for school, right? I intentionally, just thought that had it so good up here that I didn't need any of that. That's just how arrogant I was about, business in general and just life. And I found out really quickly that wasn't the case when I started here. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about my story here in a second, but it's the mindset. It's the marketing, it's the monetization, right? And then it's the momentum that you can get inside of your business. And it requires all those things. So I call them the 4 M's, the 5 M's. I've dedicated a lot of time to building that. And there's a whole nother concept that I'm going to share with you guys here today that I call blind between the lines. And what I'm referring to when I say that is, everyone is at point A. You're at your point right now where you're at, okay? Wherever that's at. You could be in a really bad spot right now. You could be in a good spot. You don't even know it. But wherever you are, you are. Yeah, and most of us are trying to get to point B. And there's a line from point A to point B. And a lot of people are what I call blind in between that line. I'm going to tell you more about what I think here in just a second in regards to that, to try to help you open up your mind here today to where you want to go. So we're going to get into this. And, if it's okay with y'all, what I'd like to do is I'd just like to tell you my brief story. Okay. I don't want this to be about me, but I want to give you some context as to where I've been as to where I'm here today to be able to talk in front of people. Are y'all cool with that? Give me a number one if you're cool with that. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bore you with my story, but at the same time, maybe it can inspire some of y'all to help you see wherever you're at. So first of all, let me just tell you something, okay? I've been in this business, I guess, since 2007, maybe a little bit before that. And I was a stockbroker, a money manager, whatever you want to call that, before, for a decade. So for 10 years, I managed people's money. I did I went to school, I played soccer in college. I got a job as a stockbroker. When the whole soccer thing didn't work out, I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And then, what happened immediately is I had success, truthfully. I mean, as a broker or as a money manager, I mean, I rose to the top very quickly in my companies. I did very, very well. I'd made it over that hump, as they say in any industry, where I could have stayed in that job probably forever and earned six figures. I mean, that's the truth. I probably could have. But there was a burning desire inside of me constantly. Even though I was making good money, even though I was able to provide for my family, I literally could not stand going to work. And that just wasn't me. I mean, I woke up every single day looking at different options. What else could I do besides this? Because I couldn't stand going there. And I liked the people, I got to work with people, but I just didn't like the process. I didn't like the whole, to me, it was I don't even know how to put it. I couldn't get my mind off doing something else. So what I did is I was sitting there one day and I had this guy call me and he's like, "Hey, James," he said, "I'm going to stop by your office." At this point, let me just fast forward. At this point, I'd been with a major bank, got taken to another major brokerage firm that you would for sure know, got a big bonus for going there. And, this whole time I'm still in my mind, I can't stand this, but I'm having success. It was a weird deal, right? So I get this phone call from a guy that I worked with and he's like, "Hey man, can I come see you?" He was at the bank that I was just at with. And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Come on over." And he was like, he comes and sits down with me. He's like, "Look, man," he said, this guy's lost his mind. This guy named Brandon that we worked with, he's lost his mind." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Dude, he's walked away from, he was making $150,000 a year. He's walked away from it. He's doing some crazy business that I don't even know. And he's talking about mindset and all this other stuff. I don't know what's going on with him." And he was just talking about how crazy he was. Well, all I could hear the guy say after one point was, "Hey, he walked away from his job and he's doing something on his own." That's the only thing I caught from that conversation. The fact that he thought he was crazy or anything else, it really didn't resonate with me, because that's exactly in my mind what I wanted. So as soon as that guy walked out of my office, what did I do? I picked up the phone to the guy who had left the business. Now, this guy was a little bit abrasive. I mean, he wasn't really my style, but I talked to him. And of course, yes, immediately he starts talking about, I need to get my mindset right and stuff like this. I'm like, "God, dude, what's up, man? Just tell me, are you making money? What are you doing?" Because that's what I really wanted to know. And maybe that's what some of y'all want to know. Hey, just get to it. I want to make money. Tell me how to do that, right? That's the way I was. So I got to researching the platform that he was in, which led me to the first business I ever joined. And it wasn't with him or his company, believe it or not, which really made him mad. It was to a competitor. But it was one of these things that when I made that decision, this mentor that I ran into, the very first person I ran into, was someone who said, "Hey, in your first 6 months, I'm going to show you how to make $50,000 a month." Now, I'm telling you 100%, I bought into that. When he told me 50,000 a month in the first 6 months, I was like, if anyone can do it, I'm doing it. That is the mindset I had. And I will tell you, I busted my butt for an entire year. And instead of making $50,000 a month, what I was probably about $50,000 in debt. Okay. I had not earned a dime. I'd done every single thing that I felt like he had told me to do, right? I mean, I looked up to him. I looked at every single person out there that was having success in the industry. And all I did was I wanted to follow them. I showed up on calls. Now, keep in mind, I had a full-time job, right? I was a full-time soccer coach and a full-time dad. I had two small kids, all of this collaborating together, right? My kids are under 5 years old. I'm coaching other people's kids in soccer, and it's travel soccer. So I'm traveling every single weekend, and I'm working a full-time job. So in my mind, though, I was like, I'm going to be making $50,000 in 6 months. I'm going to be able to do whatever I want. So the full year I devoted to that. I went directly home every single day. I would go straight to my office and I would work there until like 11 o'clock at night. The only time I would break is just to have quick dinner with my family. And what it got me is it got me a lot of experience of hearing no over and over and over again, which I wasn't used to hearing because, you know, I'd had a lot of success. So as you remember, I thought I had this thing figured out. Well, long story short, here's what happened. I had a guy that was running my Google ads. Yes, marketing. I was actually paying for marketing, if you can believe that. I know that that's like unheard of, but I was paying for marketing. And this guy that was doing my Google ads, he worked with every top leader out there. And what he told me is like, look, James, he's like, I don't have time to talk to you, because I would always try to talk to him about what other people are doing. He said, but if you call me at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll be here. Now, he wasn't thinking I was going to wait up and call him. I did. So what happened is we struck up a friendship, right? Well, we're sitting there one day, and this guy had the mouth of a sailor, meaning that he cussed like crazy, right? So I'm not going to give you the exact terms that he gave it to me in, but the bottom line is, here's what he said. He said, James, listen to me, dude. He said, when you stop asking me all these stupid questions about everybody else, when you stop worrying about what every other leader in this industry is doing, and you start focusing on yourself, he's like, dude, you're going to be bigger than any of these guys. You have more than any of them. And I was like, what? I'm telling you, that one little conversation, this dude was not a motivational speaker. He definitely wasn't a mentor. He was a foul-mouthed marketing dude that opened up my eyes. And the reason why I tell you that is because it's not always the people at the top that are going to open up your eyes, right? It can be an event. It can be anything that can really snap it. So something happened inside of me. And I went from being this guy that wanted to follow all these leaders and do all this thing to someone that I wanted to be the leader that people followed. That was it. So literally within a week, I came up with a concept of Little Guy Network. That was my very first company, Little Guy Network. And it was all about the little people, right? It was all about helping as many people as I possibly could. So but it took time to do that, right? I think a lot of people, when you see a leader or you see someone up here talking that, you know, might be making a certain level of income that you want, you assume that it happened to them so easy and it happened overnight. What you guys don't see is what happens in between the lines. So that's really where I want to go with this conversation. You know, the in between the lines, in between A and B, most people are blind to that, okay? What you don't see is the most important things. When you have a goal here today, so let's just say you're at $0. That's how many dollars that you're earning right now in your Lion Share business or any business, okay? And you've jumped from company to company, right? You've went from contract to contract. You're waiting, you're dying. You are just so excited every single time someone pops one of those messages in your Telegram or in your Facebook or whatever it is. Hey, there's a new contract coming. Like you're like, oh my gosh, this is the one, right? So you go from business to business. You go from contract to contract. You go from leader to leader, right? Because it has to be your mentor's fault. It has to be the contract's fault, or it has to be the company's fault. Very rarely do you take a look in the mirror and realize, hey, I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing to have success. Most of y'all think that showing up every single day to a call like this, but not doing the activity is going to get you anywhere. It's not, you know. I was talking about the law of attraction yesterday with my daughter, who is 18, you know, and she's like trying to find her way through life. And she's got a cool story. I'm not going to give you her story. Maybe at some point I will, but she's got an interesting story. Okay. It's unlike most 18-year-olds. I'll just put it that way. And she was talking about this law of attraction, and we were talking about some of her physical stuff, like just trying to manifest some of that, try to get some of that into action for her. You know, I told her, I said, look, I said, here's the thing that you need to understand about the law of attraction, Tatum. I said, you can't just sit there and think about something and think that it's going to happen. It requires the action part of it too. And I believe that that's what most of us miss in this equation, right? We've heard about this. We've heard about think about what you want, think good thoughts, speak it out loud, write your goals down. And all those things are definitely important. But here's the deal. If there's no action that follows that, you cannot expect that you're going to get anywhere inside of your business, okay? So what I want to talk about specifically today are some of those things that you can be doing to help you from where you're at today to where you want to be. And I always start with the mindset. 100% of the time I start with the mindset. Now, some of you right now, when I say mindset, what you're going to do is you're going to get on your phone and you're going to be on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or WhatsApp, or any of the other billion apps that you have, Candy Crush, you name it, that's where you're going right now because I mentioned the word mindset and you think that you are above that. Let me be the first to tell you, if you don't get this straight, then the rest of it's not going to matter. You can be the best marketer in the world, but if you don't have the mind to go along with it, if you are not the leader that people want to follow, if people can't see you and say, hey, that's where I want to go, you will have zero success. Trust me, okay? I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think. That is the bottom line. The mindset is the number one thing that people are going to skip. It's the number one thing that you are not going to want to pay attention to. It's the number one thing that you're going to think is boring. And I was the worst offender. So I can say all this stuff. And if I offend some of you, well, maybe you needed to be offended, right? Because some of what I'm going to tell you here today is going to be the brutal, honest truth that a lot of people aren't just going to say out loud, but I really don't care. I'd rather give it to you, right? And just straight up tell you what's going on than just feed you some nonsense that's out there, okay? So the bottom line is, number one, mindset. You have to have your mind right. And let me be clear on something, okay? When I talk about having your mind right, what I'm talking about is you need to be working on yourself harder than you work on your business, okay? Now, what that means is not spending 2 hours a day, doing something that is for yourself. What it means is broaden your horizons, learning new skills, understanding, getting uncomfortable. I mean, how many times have you guys seen me on a call talking about uncomfortability? Right past uncomfortability is success, right? You guys hear me talk about that a lot, and it is absolutely the truth. But here's the deal. On my mindset part of things, I know everyone says, hey, readers are leaders. I hate reading. I hate it, okay? I'm just going to straight tell you, I do not like to read. Some of you might be great readers. My wife, she can read a book like in one day, and it drives me insane. I'm the guy that either I have to watch something or I have to listen to something in my car. But here's what I did, and I'm just telling you what I did. You can do with it what you want. I picked out a couple mentors that I dove into their stuff, right? And I listened to them every single day, not for hours. Every single time I was in my car, though, I had something plugged into my CD player or my tape player, maybe even back then. I had it in there. And I'm going to give you a couple names that you guys can follow here today, okay, that I believe could be great mentors for you. And one of those would be Jim Rohn. It's Rohn, Jim Rohn. He's not with us any longer. He has some of the best stuff that you're ever going to hear. Zig Ziglar, another great one that I really, really like. Jeffrey Combs. Maybe some of you all have heard of Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs is, he's one of my really good friends. He's in Stockton, California, an amazing guy. I mean, he's a special kind of taste, but he tells you what's up. He would be a great, great person for you guys to listen to. Some of these leaders in the past, Les Brown, some of these people that you've seen out there that you can learn from, that doesn't mean that you go and you sit there and you watch hours and hours and hours of it. No, what it means is that you dedicate some time every single day to working on yourself. If you are a reader, get out there and read a book. Think and Grow Rich. Read whatever you want, okay? But read something that is going to help open up your mind, right? Because I know what most of us do is we get caught up on Facebook. You guys will spend more time on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat than you will on yourself. And that's what's crazy about this. That's why I told you that, when I go out there and I've had an opportunity to speak to people in front of people, 100% of the time, the people tell me they're going to do whatever I can give them, whatever secrets I can give them, they're 100% going to do. But what I know is this: as soon as they walk away from me, only about 10% are going to do anything. The rest of them are going to go right back to their phone. They're going to go right back to their habits because they don't want it enough. And that's okay. Listen, some of you are not going to want it. Some of you might have convinced yourself at this point that you want it because you showed up here today. But I'm telling you, some of you don't want it. And success, I love this analogy, okay? And maybe some of y'all have heard this little, I don't know what it is. I'm just going to tell you the story really quick. So the guru says, this guy goes to the guru, okay? And the guy says, look, guru, I will do anything that you tell me to do if you can show me how to have success. The guru looks at him and says, follow me. They go outside and they're standing there and they're around this big barrel of water. And he says, ask the question again. He said, guru, tell me whatever I have to do to give me success, just tell me and I will do it. He grabs the guy by the back of the head and sticks his head in the water and holds it down. Now, this guy, he holds him down for so long that the guy is almost about to drown. Right at that point, he pulls him out. The guy's gasping for air, and the guru grabs him again, throws him right back under. Okay, he's holding there. This guy's about to drown. He comes right back up. He catches his breath for 1 second. He's about to say something. The guru sticks his head underneath there again for the third time. This time, this dude is almost drowned, right? Pulls him out. The guy's grasping for air. He's asking, why did you do that to me? What did you do that for? And the guru says to him, he says, look, when you want success as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll have success. And I just think that's so cool because, there's so many things right now that are going on and there's so many distractions. If you make the decision today and you have complete clarity on the direction you want to go, and then you take the action steps to get there, there is nothing that cannot be attained. It doesn't always happen overnight. I mentioned Jeffrey Combs. One of the best things that I liked about him is he said, look, success is going to probably take a couple years sometimes in order for you to get to that 6-figure a month type of income or, $50,000 a month of income. But, imagine that. Imagine if you could get there. Imagine if you could make 50,000 a month in the next 6 to 12 months. What would that do for you and your family? What would you be willing to do to get there? What type of freedom would that give you? And, if those reasons are big enough, if your purpose is big enough and your clarity is big enough, the options are endless. Okay. You have to understand something. Even though this is a Lion's Share training, this is not about Lion's Share. Okay. This could be about any business that you want to market out there because it is all the same exact thing. You just don't realize it. Okay. It's not the company. We have some unbelievable benefits with our smart contract. There's no doubt. And you guys have heard me talk about those, but that's not the difference. The difference is you. I hope you understand that. You are the only one who can make this happen for yourself. It's not me. I'm going to give you what I can give you, but at the same time, this is going to go back to you. So mindset, number one, 100%, you have to be able to take advantage of your own mind. And the only way to do that is to feed it with the right stuff. Now, I say this a lot too. I do believe that these calls right here, I believe coming out and listening to other people's stories every single day and seeing the success that people are having and how they're having it, I believe that that's important, okay? But I believe that that's a portion of what you have to do to be successful. When you hear some of these people, I saw the lady out here earlier. She's from New Zealand. I call her the lady because I can't pronounce her name. There she is right there with that pink flower. I've heard her story and she's got such a cool thing going on with her family. I mean, her daughter came out and you could just tell like that she had been raised in an environment that they told her, look, you can be anything that you want to be. You can do anything that you want to do. Because when that lady, when she spoke, it was unbelievable. I mean, her daughter blew me away and so did she, but it's such a cool story of what's going on here. But here's the deal. Every single time they speak, they're like, look, we've been up all night. We've been doing this all night. We're dying. We're tired. And all those things are going to be required. And that's going to lead me to my next point. Okay. I think when people think about success, and I'm going to talk about from that A to B point, okay, being blind between the lines. If you look at where you're at and you look at where you want to be, so maybe where you want to be is $100,000 a month or whatever it is, you can do this in anything, okay? It could be your health, okay? So where you're at today to having six-pack abs, there's a space in between there. There's a line that can get you there, right? And what I'm telling you is that most people are completely blind. All they see is the straight line. They see where they're at and they see where they're going to want to be. Let me give you an example, okay? And I need some participation here. How many times have you guys been sitting there late at night, or maybe it don't have to be late at night, maybe it's the middle of the day, and you see an infomercial come on for, let's say, P90X or some type of health or food or exercise program? Has anyone ever been sitting there and seen one of those infomercials come on? Just give me a number one. If you've seen it and you caught yourself watching it, right? And all of a sudden you're like, your mind's in it. Like you're watching these people work out. They're showing the before and afters of these people with abs. And you're like, oh my God, that is exactly what I want. That is where I'm going. Have you guys seen that? Right? I've been there. Now, let me tell you something. I want to tell you how I've been there. I've been sitting there on my couch watching this, seeing these people in the infomercial do it. And I'm like, I can do this. Now, what I didn't tell you, the best part is this. I usually had a bag of Doritos sitting there and a Dr. Pepper and maybe a piece of pizza and some other stuff as I'm watching this, okay? So the only place that my mind goes, it doesn't go to what my hand going in the bag and getting the chip. No, that's not where my mind goes. My mind goes to where I'm at I see these people with the six-pack abs and how good I could look with those, right? I'm blind. I don't see the sacrifice that these people make. Okay. I don't see it. I don't see the sacrifice of going to the gym every day, eating right, saying no to the type of foods that they want, missing out on the alcohol. So let me give you the same thing on the business. Okay. What you don't see. What you don't see is the years that sometimes people, the sacrifice that they made for years, not for a day, not for a week, where most of y'all quit and go on, right? Most of y'all quit. What you do is you start a business. It doesn't work the way that you want. So you're chasing the next one and you're looking for the next leader to follow who will give you the answer. Let me give it to you. Okay. The answer is you. It's nobody else. The answer is you. It doesn't matter. You can have the best products, the best service, the best mentors, the best marketing system. I don't care. You can have it all, but it's back on you, right? You have to become better. You have to be the best that you can possibly be. So in business, that's what I'm saying. When you see what's going on out there, let's take Alfredo for a second. I mean, Alfredo had phenomenal results in a very short period of time, 30-day period. But there were several people that fell into that category. What you don't see, I mean, Alfredo's here this morning. It's 7:30 in the morning where this dude's at, right? He came up to hear me talk at 7:30 in the morning. I mean, he's probably regretting it at this point, but he came, right? He's here. So my point is this. He does what other people won't do. He gets up early. The guy was texting me. I could show you a text. He texted me really late last night too. So that means that his sleep is not probably 8 hours a day like the rest of you might be getting, or 9 hours or 10 hours, right? He's not laying down, sitting there sleeping. He is up working his business. He is committed to the process and the consistency that it takes to get from point A to point B. You don't see that. What you see is us showing back offices with all this income flowing in. And the question that we get in the chat is, how come I'm not getting spillover? Like, wake up for a second, and I'm not trying to be rude at all. Okay. I'm trying to wake y'all up. Because it's not about that. It's about what happened. If you ask Alfredo his story, he's going to tell you he could have went out there and hit his list because he's been in network marketing for a long time. But no, he decided to learn a new skill. He got uncomfortable. He started a YouTube channel, and all of a sudden, people started flowing to him. He attracted those people to him by being the leader that he wanted to be. So my point is this. Your mindset's one thing. But not until you get your mindset can you even move on to the next step, which is the marketing, okay? You can't even do it. If you are not the person that people want to follow, you cannot expect to get the results that you want. So I'm going to give you a couple of key tips here. Again, I'm probably going to hurt some of your feelings. If that's the case, I'm sorry, but I have to get it out there, okay? Especially right now in this social media age. It is unbelievable to me. I mean, like, it blows my mind how many times I see people putting their link of their business on their Facebook wall or on their Instagram page or wherever else. They just throw it up there and say, hey, hit me up, come join my team. Now, you might have 500 people that follow you, you might have 5,000. My guess is you probably don't have 5,000 if you're putting messages out there like that. But you have your small little knit group, your mom and your friends are going to like your comment, right? But no one else is going to answer you. And do you know why? If you are putting your link on your social media and thinking that you are marketing your business and thinking that you're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing that's having success, you are missing the boat, okay? Let me tell you something. You don't go on your first date and ask someone to marry you. You build a relationship and then you ask for a proposal and then you build that relationship even more. So let me give you a little tip here, okay? If you want to attract people to you in this business or in any business, what you have to give to the marketplace is value. You have to be valuable. And let me tell you something. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world to be able to create value. I can assure you 100%, if we polled out there, many of you would have much more skill sets than I have in many different areas, okay? But what I can do is I can surround myself with people that have those type of skill sets. I can leverage the time, I can leverage the skills and the networks of other people. You have to understand that. And it didn't come overnight. It came from connections, right? It came from building relationships. It came from consistency. It didn't come from just putting some link on my Facebook page or my Instagram page thinking, my God, I'm putting this out there and I can't believe nobody's signing up with me. Are you guys getting this? Have you all seen that? Like, give me a number one if you've seen someone constantly putting the same stinking link on their website over and over. It happens, right? Now, here's what else happens. They put their link out there, right? They say, come and join my business. And then 2 or 3 days later, guess what? It's a different link to a different business. And they can't figure out, like, they can't get, like, why am I not having success? I don't get it. Like, you know, I'm posting this to my Facebook page. I put a picture of my dog yesterday, and then I told people to hit me up today on my 14 different business that I was in just this month. Why are people not joining me? People, wake up, okay? You have to build a relationship. If you look at the leaders out there, okay, this is what I see. If you want to market on social media, here's what I suggest you do. I suggest that you commit to a specific topic. If it's cryptocurrency, awesome, commit to it. If it's Ethereum, commit to it. If it's Bitcoin, commit to it. If it's marketing, showing people how to market, commit to it. If it's whatever it is, if it's mindset, commit to it. And what you do is you commit to adding value. Now look, you don't have to have all the answers. There's information everywhere. If I was committed to, let's just say, health and fitness, what I would be doing is I would be going out there and I would be finding articles. I would be finding videos, and I would be like, hey, y'all check this out. This is something that helped me. And what's going to happen? People are going to start commenting, and all of a sudden we're going to have a conversation. And then eventually what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, hey, if you guys would like to have six-pack abs like I don't have, but let's just say I did. If you'd like to have six-pack abs like I did, hey, hit me up on a DM. I would never put a link out there saying, go buy my products or my service. I would say, hit me on a DM, right? Personal message me, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what kids call it these days, but you got what I'm saying, right? DM me, send me a message. Don't ever, I'm telling you, you are wasting your time and you are attracting the wrong type of people if you are just throwing your link up on some Facebook page and telling people to join. It's like shoving something down someone's throat that probably doesn't want it. You see, you want to attract the people that want to be part of it. But the only way you're going to attract those people is if you become the leader that people want to follow. Do you understand that? You have to become the leader that people want to follow. And the leader never shoves something down people's throats. They have people attracted to them. I have people calling me. Wouldn't that be cool? If I told you that there was a way, instead of you having to go out there and fish, right, and try to find people to say no to you over and over, if I told you there was a way, instead of doing that where you're doing the effort, you just had people coming to you and calling you, would you be okay with that? Give me a number one if you'd like that. Or if you'd rather go out there and just find it on your own, right? No one wants that. So the only way that you can do that is to become the leader that people want to follow. And the only way that you can do that is to work on yourself every single day. But I'm trying to give you some little tips here. I can't give it all to you in one session, but what I am going to commit to you is this. You know, over the next several weeks, I'm going to be bringing mindset, marketing, all those things to you that you need to help build your business. But what I wanted to set you on fire here today is before you leave, that you know going into next week, or tomorrow, I hope, especially if it's nighttime, I hope that you can't sleep tonight. And I don't mean that because I want you to be tired. I hope that something clicks in your brain here tonight and say, wow, I've been looking at this all the wrong way, right? I've been thinking that this is the way. It's not the way, okay? The way is you. The way is adding value to the marketplace. And when you do that, it's going to come back to you tenfold. You don't have to have all the knowledge. You don't have to know a single thing about cryptocurrency to be a cryptocurrency expert. Did you know that? There are videos, there are articles everywhere. You look at the biggest YouTubers out there who have success, who have subscribers. Guess what they do? They either interview other people who have had success or they use other people's information. Do you realize that? There's a reason why. I mean, I don't know Alfredo's page, but I guarantee if I went and looked at it, it isn't him sitting here like I'm talking to you. It's probably him sharing other information from other people that he found. Hey, this is really cool. Did you guys see that, you know, Bitcoin passed over 12,000? This person right here, or this expert right here is expecting it to go to here. Here's the article. Take a look at it. If you're interested in cryptocurrency, come follow me, right? How easy is that? That's a lot easier than saying, hey, here's my Lion Share link. Come sign up with me today, and not understanding what. Do you understand the difference with me before me just throwing something out there to someone and saying sign up versus, hey, let me add some value to your life here today. I know you're interested in this. We're both interested in it. Here you go. This is what I found. Did you check this out? Cool. Let's start a conversation. Hit me on my DMs. Hey, oh, I see that you're in Alabama. I'm in Mississippi. I'm in Alabama, right? Or wherever you're at. Hey, I see that. Like, what do you do? People are going to start asking, what is it that you do, right? I mean, it's crazy how this can work for you if you will work it, okay? So the bottom line is this. I want to open up your eyes to where you want to go, not where you're at right this second. A lot of you are going to get off here. You're going to be stuck in the same exact spot that you are today because you're not willing to do the work. You're not willing to make the changes. Okay. And here's the deal. I know that there's so many platforms out there, and I know a lot of people don't like hearing this, but I don't really care. There's been so many platforms out there that have screwed this thing up for a lot of you. Okay. Over the last 4 years, 5 years, whatever you want to call it, these programs that come and say, sit and do nothing and earn income, right? Investments, but not investments. They've ruined this thing, okay? They've ruined the mindset of people because everyone just expects that they can walk into a door and they're entitled to earn without putting in the effort. You're not entitled to anything, okay? That's the truth. If you want to continue to go down that road with those companies, go ahead. But I'm guaranteeing you that 99.9% of them are gone within 3 to 6 months. What I love about smart contracts and what this has brought back to us is the ability for people to know that they can work and they can earn. If they put in the efforts, they can get the result. It's something that was needed so badly. So when I saw these smart contracts and I saw the idea and the concept, oh, people are actually going to have to put in the effort to earn, I loved it, okay? Because it still gives you that aspect of the overflow and stuff like that, but it changed the mindset of people coming from, hey, I'm going to sit here and do nothing, to all of a sudden, hey, we're going to get back to this networking thing, right? We're going to start introducing this to people. We're going to start doing this the old school way, but with the new school flair. And that's exactly what smart contracts have been able to do. So I'm really excited about that. So here's the deal. I'm not going to keep you much longer because I've talked for 40 minutes. I didn't intend to do this. I hope that you got some type of value on what I said here today. And what this is, what I was trying to do here today is build a foundation. And the foundation is built going forward in the trainings that we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to be calling on some of the top leaders that I'm going to interview. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to interview them for you. You want to know what other people are doing? I'm going to get the best of the best out here for you to learn from. Okay. And you need to show up and you need to make sure that every single one of your people are here. If I get someone that's big out here that's producing, doing what they're supposed to do, if they spend 30 minutes of their time with me or an hour with me, their time is valuable. So I want to fill this room up. So let's make a commitment here going forward that you're going to make sure that your team comes out to trainings like this. Now, the things that we're going to be working on, just so you know, mindset. We're going to work on mindset. You have to work on your own, but we're going to work on it, okay? Second thing is we're going to work on marketing. How do you actually get your business out there, and how do you have the posture that you need, okay? The posture is, hey, I'm the one that you want to follow, not the, hey, here's my link, join. No. Here's what I can do for you. Here's the value that I add, right? You could be day number one in this industry and no one's going to know the difference if you're here for a decade or not, right? You have to be bold enough, because here's what's crazy. When I first started in this thing, what I found is this. I built a website on my own. What I saw is I saw people, I had enough common sense to know that the biggest leaders out there, they were branding themselves, okay? They were building brands around themselves. So what I did is I went out there, I took pictures of myself in front of my house, in front of my cars. And by the way, none of that came from network marketing. It came from me being a stockbroker, right? But I took this, and not like I had a mansion or anything like that. And I didn't even have that fancy of cars or anything like that. But I took pictures of that. I had pictures of my family. This one picture specifically of us on the beach. I promise you it made me more money than anything. But here's what happened. When I did that and I put myself out there, which by the way was super uncomfortable, because you have to understand something. I was in a professional job, right? And if people saw my website out there and knew I was doing something else, I would have been like, I didn't want people to do that, right? I didn't want them to see it. So I had to get super uncomfortable, and I put it out there. My whole point is this. I started attracting people to me that were like, hey, I see, you have 2 small kids. They had kids as well. They were around my age, or maybe some of them liked soccer because, or football, depending on where you're located in the world, because I coached football. I started putting stuff out there that was personal to me that had very little to do with business. And all of a sudden people started resonating with it and started hitting me up, right? So it did take my marketing as well. But the bottom line is this, guys, we're going to show you, at least I'm going to do my best to show you how to get your mind right, how to get your marketing right, which will automatically lead to your monetization and then really get your business into momentum. And here's what momentum is. Momentum is when you can go anywhere. You can do anything in any business you want, and all of a sudden you have people coming to you wanting to join you. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? Regardless of what contract you worked, regardless of what business you worked, instead of just having to chase the next shiny object, imagine being able to go to a company or go into a smart contract that you could really resonate with the people. You loved the community. You loved what was going on there. It's not because they gave you a big fat check to come, or it's not because it's the next greatest thing. It's because you believe in the concept, and no matter what it was, people will follow you. That's when you have the freedom, right? When you can do that, when you can go wherever you want to go, and you know people are going to come because of what you've done in the past, right? And not what you've done income-wise in the past, what value you've given back to people in the past. That's what it's about, right? And that's what I hope you get from this today. So listen, all this was designed to do was give you a little bit of inspiration, okay? I could have came out here today and I could have recited my same exact overview like I've done day in and day out for 41 days. And by the way, that takes some consistency, right? That takes a lot of effort. I know like Marlene's helped me out a few times here, which I really, really appreciate. And some of you have had to step in, like when my internet's been unstable or whatever. And we're going to have more leaders stepping up to do that. And that's one thing I want to say here as well. If you're English speaking here today and you have a desire, like you would like to do something like that, you would like to maybe become a presenter or something like that, I would love to maybe chat with you about it. See how consistent you are with coming to the calls, how much you know about it, and maybe even have you shoot a video to me to show me how you would do the overview, because I am looking for people that can step into that role as well and help me out. As much as I love doing that, the reality is I do a lot outside of that, right? I mean, there's a lot that you don't know that I do behind the scenes. And the facts are this: if I can add value in different ways, like doing trainings like this, I would love to do that. I'd love to give that back to you, because I know I can get the people out here that can show you the way that they're doing it as well. So that could be a great value add into it. So if you're in that position that you see someone like myself or anyone up there who is talking, you're like, man, I would love to be there. I want to do that. How do I get to that place? Well, all you got to do is lean into it, right? So get to that place. And that's something we can talk about. So just know that that's coming. So like I said, we'll be coming out with a new training schedule coming soon. I hope you guys got something out of this. I really do. And I'm not asking for pats on the back or anything like that. What I want to make sure is whatever I bring to the table, I bring it and it really resonates with a few of you. There's going to be some of you it's not going to matter. You weren't paying attention anyway. I'm not trying to be rude. I just know it, okay? There's some of you, though, that I see you looking at me square in the eyes being like, wow, okay, now I'm kind of getting this. I know what's going on. Success is probably closer than what you think it is. I'm going to tell you one more thing and then I'm going to wrap this up. My business, when I started my business, that Little Guy Network, for the first, year and a half or 2 years? No, 2 years. I did okay. Like I attracted a lot of people, but I could not get my business over that like $50,000 to $60,000 a month. Now, some of you are like, well, so what? Right? Because that was coming to me. That was like my part of the income because I was having some success, but I didn't want 50 or 60,000 a month. Now, some of you are like, what? No, I literally, I wanted 6 figures minimum, but my goal was 250,000 a month. And I couldn't figure out, I couldn't get my business to grow like the way I wanted to. Right? I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure it out. And what happened was I ran into a couple mentors, and just one little instant change into my business took my business from all that time that I'd been building trust, building value. I made one little change, and all of a sudden I went from $50,000 a month to 1 month, talking literally 1 month, we did $1 million that month. The next month, for the next month, for the next 3 or 4 years, we never did under $1 million for an entire month. Now that wasn't all mine, okay? So don't think like I went out there and earned all that money. That's not what I'm saying. My point is this: your answer is probably a lot closer than what you think. And most of you are going to sit there and be like, I can never get there. You're right. You can't. If that's your mindset, you can't get there. You're right. But if you see this here today, I hope it gave you a little bit of inspiration. I love seeing all y'all's faces. We got a bunch of people on with videos here today. I appreciate you taking the time to come out here. I mean, we got a couple pages of videos where usually it's like, a few people on the front page. I would love any type of feedback you guys have on this, share it with your leaders. I'm sure they can get it to me. If this helped you, that's awesome. I want you to keep coming out. If you don't feel like it's added value to you, man, no hurt feelings, man. We all have different, different flows. So this might not be a good thing for you. But here's the deal. What I do know is this. There's a reason why I haven't had to work a job since 2007. There's a reason. It wasn't by accident, okay? I mean, I've been doing this a really long time, and I've had some really, really great times, but man, I've been crushed along the way multiple times. I've lost everything multiple times. And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be willing to take those shots. I guarantee you, most of y'all think that I've had it rosy for a long time. Trust me, man. I've had some awful, awful, awful times during this time, but I'm willing to take that risk because I know what the reward is on the backside. The reward is I get to call my own shots. I get the freedom that I want to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. I don't answer to anybody. And I know that instantly I can create income for me and my family because I've learned the skill sets that can do it. And you can absolutely do the same thing. There's no doubt about it. It may not happen tomorrow, but if you make a commitment, it can happen for you. So listen, I want to say thank you for taking the time to come out here. I can assure you that the next one that we have, I definitely probably will have some type of PowerPoint and some type of like nuggets to give you, something good to give you as part of it. But we will be sending this, we recorded this, so I'll make sure to put it on the Telegram. But make sure you have your team out for these things. I'm telling you, if you guys can get everybody doing the same thing and on the same wavelength, you're going to be shocked your income. I promise you that, okay? There's no sales pitch here from me. You're here or you're not. You're already here, right? So why not make it the best that you possibly can make it for you and your family and everybody else's family? We have such a unique and amazing opportunity here that I've never seen. You guys hear me say that all the time. Like, I've never seen income earn this quickly in this industry. And that's the truth. There's no sales pitch, right? I'm not showing new people what's going on here. I'm telling you, like, I've never seen this. So you have something in front of you right now. And as we break into the next 5 years, the 5-year plan that we have to be the king of smart contracts. Thanks, Alfredo, for that. I'm going to be using that. The king of smart contracts. We are committed to the community. I'm not committed to any specific cryptocurrency. I'm not committed to anything other than this community. Do you understand that? I'm committed to the people. And the reality is we want to build something that can be great for you and your family, where you don't have to bounce around from over and over and over, but you can keep the community here and we can work this thing together. I still truly believe we're going to have 1 million people inside of Lionshare in 2020. I believe that. We just crossed over 90,000. As many of you all know, we announced the Tron contract that's going to be coming very soon. And I'm telling y'all, you watch and see what happens, okay? Watch and see what happens as we go into this and we bring out this new stuff. You guys are going to be absolutely amazed at where we're going. Don't be committed to anyone but your family and adding value to the marketplace. Let's make this happen together. I appreciate y'all taking the time to come out here, and we're going to rock and roll. So if you enjoyed this, I'll be sending out more invites. We're definitely going to be doing this at least once or twice a week. And it won't just be me, though. I'm going to be inviting some people out, like I said, to come help me and give their feedback as well. So thank you all so much for taking the time to come out. I really appreciate it, and we're going to rock and roll, all right? Y'all have a good one.